last time I talked with you, we've just been picked up out of the water and taken to a ship called the USS Bassett. It was a converted destroyer escort. A small vessel, but it had radar, sonar, and it wasn't really a rescue vessel, but they were doing everything they could to get us out of the water. And they got more aboard that ship than any other ship. They got about 152 men out of the water. And they worked night and day, and finally, whenever we got to the ship, I was on this little LCVP barge thing. We came up to the Bassett, and they tied a rope around me, under my arms, and they had a Jacob's ladder, a rope ladder to climb up. And with the help of the rope and me climbing, we got to the deck of the Bassett, and I thought I could walk, and I stood up and then fell down on my face. They picked me up, carried me up, and put me over, rolled me into a bunk that had a canvas bottom. And when they rolled me in, I was asleep before I ever even turned over. I went to sleep on my stomach with my hands underneath me, and I woke up later, my hands had stuck to the canvas, nearly pulling the hide off my hands. And I finally got them loose and got turned over, and we were oily and everything, and they took our clothes off, and two of the sailors took me to the shower and bathed me down, trying to get some oil off and all, and then gave me some fresh pants to put on and shirt. And back to the bunk they carried me. Well, we went to the island of Samar in the Philippines. That's where we ended up. And we were on cots, some of us, some of them wasn't, they were still able to not be bedfast. I was on cot, and they got me off the ship, carried me into the hospital, and they began to doctor me, and I was solid sores. They wrapped me in gauze completely from my feet up to my hips, and then they wrapped my stomach and wrapped my arms, and I began to stink, smell like a dead horse. And they'd changed my gauze and my wrappings 2 or 3 times a day for the first 2 or 3 days. And I lost all my body hair. It all came out. It was slick as a peeled onion. Fingernails and toenails came off, and I was pickled. I've been in salt water for about 5 days, and I don't know if you've ever sat in it. If you want to try it, get in your bathtub and get in up to your ears, and then put salt all in the water and sit in there for 5 days a night. And of course, you need a little action going up and down, so that the life preserver had taken all the skin off the shoulders. And they took scabs off of both shoulders as big as my hands where that life preserver had rubbed. And stayed there, and about, seemed like it was the 3rd or 4th day. We were in the hospital. A nurse came in with a magazine, and she held it up to us, and she said, "Men, this is what you were carrying from the United States to Tinian, and the Enola Gay airplane dropped its atomic bomb, the little boy, on Hiroshima." Well, that's the first time we knew what was in the box. And so, of course, we were proud that we had some part in that. And we found out that we'd been hit by 2 torpedoes, and the submarine had sunk us, and found out a lot of things. All the men got together and told their stories. And then they flew me back out of the hospital to the Guam hospital, the Navy hospital at Guam. Flew me back in an airplane, and I spent about a month or 2 months in the hospital, and well, I was in such bad shape that the admiral was giving the Purple Hearts out, and they had a review, and I was sick, still hurting, and had sores, so I didn't get up out of the bed, but they brought the Purple Heart to me there in the hospital. And I'll tell you some more in a little bit.